Hey friends, I'm Nicole. I'm here to share and talk more about how to become confident in your decisions so that you can really learn to speak up and stop second guessing yourself. And the reason this matters is because that's really so much the point of this. So we spend a ton of time and we waste a lot of time spinning out over what other people are thinking about our choices or our decisions. That even if you're somebody who is fairly decisive and you make decisions well, that you might actually still spend a lot of time afterward wondering if you made the right decision. So this is really here for you. And one of the key ways to start to understand when you're doing that is actually checking yourself on the questions that you're asking yourself. This is a principle I learned from my teacher, Suzanne Conrad from Lightyear Leadership. And to start to look and understand and examine when you're asking yourself questions that are not productive. So examples of questions that are not productive. Why are they being so dumb? This is a common question during lockdown. Why are they being so dumb right now? And, I don't know about you, that question probably is not going to get you anywhere. Another question might be, why is my life so hard? I hear that one a lot from people with kids in particular. There's a lot of challenges coming up with the school year. And, not to say that your life isn't difficult or doesn't have challenges, but you really want to start to watch yourself on those questions because where are they taking you? Typically, those questions don't take you anywhere productive. They don't take you anywhere that is useful, that's actually going to work for you, that is going to get you answers that are going to support what you need to do next. So that's the reason that questions matter, the kind of questions you're asking yourself. And can you actually start to now cancel those questions that are not supportive, that are not useful, that are not helpful, and then actually start to ask yourself questions that are going to really make a difference for you? So I'm here to share with you two of my favorite questions that work for different circumstances. The first question is, what is it time for right now? I use that one all the time. I use it in the morning. Every morning I walk the dog. And when I'm walking Coco, I ask myself, what is it time for right now? I listen for a number, typically 1 to 4 or 5. And then from there, I fill in the answers of what is it time for right now. And this gets me off of the busyness of my schedule. This gets me off of any questioning I might have around decisions. This gets me back into alignment and clarity for myself around what is it, the priorities, where do I need to be? And then learning to speak up with confidence around what it is that are my priorities. So for example, if my priorities for today, for me, like making this video and then doing one other thing for my business, if those are the priorities, if other people are coming in at me with their priorities or trying to get me off of my game a little bit, it might have me second guess myself. But if I'm really clear and I know what it is I need to do today, I can say, hey, I'm going to do that later. I'm going to answer your question later. I'm going to deal with that later. So can you see how this actually starts to help you build confidence in what you're choosing and then also help yourself trust yourself so that you can really be confident in the decisions you're making for yourself? This is really key. The second question that is one of my favorite questions and really is the one that to use when you're feeling frustration, frustrated ions. Frustration is something that I know so many of you feel regularly. You might feel frustrated by the school district. You feel frustrated by your friends. You feel frustrated by your parents. You feel frustrated by your spouse. The list can go on and on. The question in the face of frustration, what is missing right now that if it were to return would bring me back to choice? What is missing right now that if it were to return would bring me back to choice? So for example, if you're trying to make a decision around travel during the time of COVID, which is a really big question for a lot of people right now, what is missing that might return me back to choice? Perhaps it is a little bit more education. Perhaps it's actually alignment with your family around the choices that you're making. Perhaps it is a deeper understanding of what your intention is for what you're trying to do. What is it that is going to bring you back into choice around a choice like that? Another way you might bring back something for yourself, what's missing. It could be information. It could be a sense of gratitude. Another thing that might be missing for you is simply moving your body and clearing your head. Sometimes I'm frustrated merely because I'm thinking about something in a way that's not productive for me. And what I need to go do is go on a walk, go to a yoga practice, help myself get centered. It might be I need to send someone a note and say, hey, let's get clarity on timing, something like that. So if you're feeling frustrated, what is it time for right now? Sorry, I'm mixing my questions. what is missing for me right now that if it were to return would bring me back to choice. And this is how I really conduct myself on a daily basis. I always am constantly checking the kind of questions I'm asking myself, noticing if I'm feeling frustrated or if I'm second guessing my decisions. And then I start to look and see if I can return myself and spiral my energy and myself back upward into a really good place by asking myself really good questions. Share below if you have any comments or if anything else, questions about the questions. I'd love to hear them. Thanks so much for joining me.